Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Looks like I'm it. So your day is almost over. First off, the benefit of being in freshman row here and going last is that most of my questions have been asked already, so I will not be redundant and ask them again. But thank you to all of you for being here today. Administrator Ferro, I actually want to say thank you. I want to say thank you on behalf of the ag industry in my district and the rest of the country for quickly issuing rules under MAP 21 exempting our ag producers. It's extremely important in my rural district. Secondly, though, I'm wondering if the FMCSA has considered exemptions or the issues faced by other companies that are involved in helping ensure that our crops get from the field to our elevators out into the global marketplace. For example, in Atwood, Illinois, in my district, a company repairs grain elevators, and during harvest, their techs can spend up to 5 hours driving to a site, 2 to 3 hours for repairs, and then driving home to be ready for their next job in the morning. Because of the weight of their trucks, they're included under the HOS rules. And in a letter to my office, the company's owner, Mr. Harris, wrote about the impact of these regulations, and I'll quote him. He said, "As you can see, driving hours accumulate quickly. Should we get caught, one fine could put us out of business financially. On the other hand, not responding ASAP to our customers' needs spells disaster for our business. Losing one customer can mean losing all the individual grain elevators owned by that company." So my business owner's in a conundrum. I mean, we've helped one portion of the ag sector with the exemption. Are there any ideas, any other opportunities we can have to make it a little more flexible for those who work in that same business?
Congressman, first, thank you for your recognition of the agency's work and for the nature of that question. Of course, my starting point is to encourage all operations and operators and business owners to look at their operation and their customers' needs and work them within the pretty broad hours parameters that exist today. That's my starting position. Understanding that, the agency does have, and the law allows us to have, an exemption application process. Any individual company, or in some cases a sector, can apply to the agency for consideration for an exemption, and we will examine it. In some cases, some of these exemptions we're talking about, like the ag exemption, is enacted by Congress. In other cases, there's this broader authority. The condition we start from is that should an exception be granted or an exemption be granted, it's got to ensure that the operating condition is as safe or safer than the condition today. And so that inlet, I should say, to the process exists today, and I'll be happy to follow up with your office and make sure your constituent has a clear understanding of what that process is. It's spelled out on our website.
No, I appreciate that. Speaking of that, how many exemption requests do you get on an annual basis?
Well, I will have to follow up. I can either lean out to my helpline here if...
Go ahead. I used to be part of the helpline.
Thank you. Larry Miner, does he... 10? Thank you very much.
10?
About 10 per year. Yeah.
About how many of those are approved?
About 20 to 30%.
20 to 30%. So
now, that's outside. Oh, pardon me.
Oh, that's all. No, you're
yeah,
fine.
that's outside of the exception process that drivers apply for routinely for a vision exemption or a diabetes exemption. Those are a different process, much higher numbers. But in this case, it's did I say a vision? Yeah, or a hearing. In this case, it's about 20 to 30%.
Okay, yeah. So about 2 to 3 a year out of 10 on average. As my time's running out, and I know you all want to leave too, can you provide my office with a listing of what those exemption requests were and the ones that were granted, so
Certainly.
we can kind of get an idea of what to expect when we tell constituents about that process?
We certainly will, and we're required to post everyone in the Federal Register, and we will provide all of that to your office.
Well, thank you very,
You're welcome.
very much. Thank you all.